Hello everybody, welcome to the farm show. I thought waiting on I'm waiting on help to change a tank because with anhydrous it's always best to have help on hand, and just in case something happens, there's someone there to help you out. So anyway, I thought I would talk to you guys about, this is going to be part of a series. My last video anyway talked about how I don't think there's enough farmers, and enough farmers for healthy communities. You know, these communities are having a tough time, and while like I sit here and I think it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, like I said, from my area, I've been a lot smaller of a farmer than I am now, and as a bachelor, I was surviving. Now, with a wife and a family, I've got a little bit more ground, and she's got a job, and she's got a good job, so that helps a ton. But I think if I could be a little bit, another 100 or 200 acres, I think we wouldn't have the lifestyle we have now. But I think I could support our family if I had to farm it. I think our economy would be stronger with more farmers instead of not so many enormous farmers. Because when you have enormous farmers and they start having problems, it can disrupt the supply of things. Like, but anyway, that's what I want to do, is talk to you guys about ways, if you are so inclined, ways that you could get into agriculture and that you could be a farmer or an ag service provider, I suppose is another way, and be directly involved in production agriculture. Because some of my ideas are not strictly farming. You're directly involved in farming, but you might not own it. That's basically, there's several different things you can do as far as custom work for other farmers, and you may indeed end up hiring custom work to be done for you. I probably need to put together an outline on paper so I know what I want to talk about, and maybe do it in my house with a whiteboard would probably be better. I want to talk about, of course, this is a topic I don't know very much about, is about how to acquire land by buying it or renting it, because I'm apparently not very good at doing either one of those, because I've only ever bought one piece of ground. As a beginning farmer, it's very hard to get ground bought at auction, and it often sells at auction. You don't hear about too many private treaty sales, so that just makes it that much harder. There's a lot of, so let's see, ways you get into farming. Let's see, the most common way you get into farming is you're born into farming. I know I was born into farming, so was my dad and his dad. Now his dad, no, they've been born into farming, but my grandfather's great-grandfather got out of the Civil War and came to central Kansas, and may have homesteaded in central Kansas. So that's what, but he had been a farmer in Illinois at that point anyway, so he came to Kansas and was a farmer in Kansas. And then Granddad's grandfather, who was also in the Civil War, they were both in the same regiment, believe it or not. He came to the same place in central Kansas, and then Grandpa's dad, he came out west in Kansas, and basically started where we are. He settled on a place that had been, I don't know the story behind the ground that my great-grandfather bought, but it may have been bought from a pioneer family who settled out here. Because they were not the one, they did not homestead it. It had been previously homesteaded. But anyway, so being born into it, now, that's the only way I know, and I can't know another way because it's the way that I've done it. But there's these programs where that, I don't think they're federal programs, but they're networks of old farmers who maybe they want to keep their farm smaller, moderate sized, I guess, so they connect with young people who want to farm. And I'm sure if you're that serious about wanting to farm, you've probably already investigated those. So and another thing is just maybe you could just, alright, well, let's talk about some of the things that, and I'll make a more complete video after I've done some preparatory work, but alright, you can probably go into business for yourself agriculturally by having land and farming that land yourself, or by having machinery and doing custom operations for people. Now, there's so many different things you can do. You can, with a relatively limited amount of land, you can raise, for instance, pigs. You don't need thousands of acres to have enough sows to keep you really busy. And I'll come back. I'll devote a video to pig farming because I am a recovering pig farmer. That'll be a little bit more of a niche. Maybe not that, but there'll just be. I couldn't do it. I couldn't, because pigs take a certain amount of time, whether you have 10 sows or 50 sows. There's not going to be that much more time involved. I mean, a little bit more time, but you still have a big block of your day that's totally devoted to the pigs, whether you've got 10, 50, or 100. So anyway, you could, and there's other things you could do. You can have a beef herd. There's a lot of exciting stuff about confining mama cows in big hoop barns with deep bedded straw or monoslopes. And if you all have seen Sandy Brock's YouTube channel, her vlog is about, she does the same thing with sheep, and it looks like a really nice way of taking care of animals. They're out of the elements, they're in the shade, they're protected from the wind in the winter, so they're cooler and they're warmer and they're feed efficient, and these systems seem pretty hygienic with deep bedding and frequent cleaning and everything like that. You don't see her have a whole bunch of problems with animal health. And then there's small dairies. I don't know anything about dairies, but I've read about people who are starting up dairies and doing their value. These new small dairies are value-added dairies with they make cheese and ice cream is mostly what they're doing. They're not just selling selling milk. That seems like it would be a pretty tough business to be in. There's also the goats. Lots of people are, goats is a serious business these days. However, I don't know anything about goats. So, as far as livestock goes, I know about cattle and I know about pigs. And I don't know as much as I should about either one, but I know something. Now, another way is the custom work. Say, for instance, hay. You could be a custom hay service provider by swathing. You can, with a swing type swather, you can put up hay. You can swath the hay, rake, or ted and bale with just a tractor and 2 or 3 or 4 implements that you hook the tractor to, and that's a lot of guys do custom hay. There's custom harvesting, which doesn't have to be done with the biggest and best machines. Some of you, I'm sure, are in areas where there's a lot of small fields. These big modern combines have a lot of trouble getting into them with a 12-row corn head or 36-foot flex head for beans or wheat or anything like that. Maybe you could get an older combine that's a smaller combine and go and do that for people. And custom planting, custom tillage. Sometimes people need tillage done, like no-till farmers. In a wet year, they might have gotten rid of all their tillage equipment, and if you had a disc, say for instance, you could go disc their ruts shut. Custom silage harvesting. That's going to be a lot more capital, even to go smaller and older, but it is definitely a possibility, especially with the small jobs in that case, because the great big operators, they don't want to do the small jobs, so they might even charge more because it's hard for them too, because they have to put their whole big crew together and get set up to do a job that they're done with right away. Basically, you just find a need in your area and you try to fill that need. And if you can fill that need, you might find some success. So, I suppose I've gone on about long enough this time. So, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to The Farm Show. And I look forward to doing this series, because you've already seen me apply anhigh. That's what I'm going to be doing for quite a while. I don't want to make you bored. So, have a great day. Bye-bye.